Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Timothy Lee, and I'm a mining analyst here at Red Cloud Securities. We welcome Marshall Koval, President and CEO, and Scott Hicks, VP Corporate Development of Luminex Resources. They will speak to us about the company's portfolio of projects in Ecuador, including one project with a recently completed PEA and other projects with significant exploration potential. Marshall and Scott, you have 10 minutes. Then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A at the end of the session. Attendees, please feel free to ask questions using the Q&A link below. Take it away.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate being here today. So we have 4 key assets in Luminex, and Luminex was spun out of Lumina Gold, which is a Lumina Group company, and that was done primarily to put the Cangrejos project into its own vehicle. And then all the other assets in the company of Lumina Gold were put into Luminex. That includes Condor, Cascas, Tarqui, and Pegasus projects. So we have JVs with BHP and Anglo. Luminex ourselves, we're operating the Condor and Cascas project. And right now we put out a 387 million NPV at a 5% discount rate PEA on North Condor area. Production profile of 187,000 ounces per year of gold production over a 12-year mine life. And we're currently drilling within that Condor concession package, the Nayumbi deposit. And we've doing quite a bit of work at Cascas, our copper gold target, where we've identified a Hapa copper target. BHP, we just put out a press release today. BHP has been drilling our Tarqui project. They've put 3 holes in and have identified a porphyry copper system. They're going to come back and continue to drill an additional 5,000 meters, so that's positive. They can earn 60% over 6 years by investing 42 million, and they can earn an additional 10% for an additional 40 million. And then Anglo has our largest land package, Pegasus A and B, at 67,000 hectares. Anglo is the operator. They have to spend 57 million over 7 years for 60%, and they can earn an additional 10% to carry us to a construction decision. So, you know, between those 2 partners, that's about $100 million of non-dilutive capital between 2018 and 2025 if they move through with the options. And that allows Luminex to kind of focus on our other projects. Next slide. So just by way of background, we have 108 million shares issued and outstanding, 112 million fully diluted, a market cap of roughly 60 million. We're down a hair today. Ross Beatty has 25.7% of the company. Ecuadorian entrepreneurial and management, sorry, not just Ross. Ecuadorian entrepreneurial group about 14%, Route 1 out of San Francisco 11%. And some other funds that are following us are at 7.3%. Next. So this just kind of gives you an idea where we're at in Ecuador. Pegasus A and B are the green boxes in the center. That's Anglo. Down to the south of that, Tarqui is BHP. And then our Condor project is just south of Fruta del Norte and basically right in this area. And then Cascas, Orquídeas, La Canela, Tres Picachos, and Kimi are some other projects concessions that we have in the area. They're all along this eastern trend along the Peruvian border. Highly prospective area. You've got Warintza, Mirador, Fruta del Norte, all in that area as well. Next slide. So this is a little bit closer look at it. You can see Tarqui, Kimi, and the Mirador mine. Those are all porphyry copper deposits very close to each other. Then you come down to Fruta and you come down to our Condor project. These are primarily gold projects, but within our Condor concession package is the Santa Barbara project, which is a gold copper porphyry. So pretty highly prospective region of the country, the most heavily mineralized part to date. Next slide. I want to look at the PEA that we just put out. These 4 red dots in the north, this northern area, that's the epithermal portion of the Condor deposit. We've got over 2.5 million ounces of resource there that went into the PEA. Quite a bit of that is in is indicated, 1.5 million in indicated, and then about 1.5 in inferred. Next slide. So just to look at a summary of the PEA that we just put out, the initial capital is 607,000 for a, or 607 million, sorry, for a 25,000 ton per day plant. We're looking at gold production, life of mine, 187,000 ounces a year, and then silver, 758,000 ounces a year. Looking at the cash cost for life of mine is $763, and then AISC, all in sustaining capital net of byproduct credits is 839. That gives us a post-tax NPV of 387 at a 16% IRR. And that's using $1,600 gold and $21 silver. Next. So this is just the plant layout, basically 3 open pits and 1 underground site at Condor. The open pits are Los Cuyas, Soledad, and Emma, and the underground is the camp zone. We have a lot of upside potential still at the camp zone, and then along trend, let's go to the next slide. We can talk about the Mirador area and the northwest extension of the camp zone. So you can see these circles here along this trend. There's still upside exploration potential. We're going to be drilling at Mirador, possibly up at the camp zone northwest this year. And basically, there's still a lot of exploration potential to add to the PEA. Next one. So this is our Nayumbi target. Now, Nayumbi is in the very southwest of the Condor land package. Here we've got a lot of sandstone breccias and major faulting in the area that are feeder zones, that similar type mineralization to Fruta del Norte. We're drilling here now. We have quite a bit of high-grade exposure at the surface in outcrop, and we're continuing to drill. We should have drill results out here in the next few months. Next one. Cascas is another porphyry system that we have. We're operating this ourselves. It also has a gold potential along with it. It's sort of south of the Condor project. We're operating it out of our Condor camp. We've done some drilling and identified a porphyry system at Shakai. We're doing a lot of work looking at this Hapa soil grid right now. This is the next area that we're looking to drill. And then we also have the Kuru, which is a gold anomaly off to the south as well. So we're continuing to do field work on this and getting it ready for drill targets up at Hapa. Next slide. This is just kind of looking at the cross section of Hapa, and you know, you have a 400 ppm soil anomaly of copper over quite a large area, sort of 1,000 meters in the initial work, and we're looking at good copper values at the surface. So this looks like an interesting target. You can see the cross section here where we have a mineralized porphyry copper stock that we're looking at drilling. So BHP at Tarqui, this is, again, it's just north of Mirador. It's a copper porphyry system, copper moly system, and BHP, if you can look at the press release that we put out today, you can see some details of that. And basically they're focusing on this discovery zone, and this is where the majority of the work is being gone on, but there are other additional targets within the Tarqui land package. Next one. This is Pegasus A and Pegasus B. Anglo is working primarily in the Pegasus A area. It's about a 35,000 hectare land package, quite large. You can see it's near Curipamba with Salazar and Aventis. And this is porphyry territory. So let's go to the next slide and we can take a look at this. So basically, Anglo is back in the field now. They've been out for quite a while with the COVID situation, but they're back working. They've identified 8 porphyry targets. The most prospective is the Medusa target here. Let's go look at the cross section. And this is where they intend to be drilling, more than likely early next year. But geophysics-wise, a really good classic porphyry response in magnetics and resistivity. You can see here. So we're excited to see these guys get out there and drill this target. It looks really prospective. Next slide. So reasons to invest in Luminex. We had 2.3 million ounces in indicated, 4.3 million ounces of gold and inferred. We put out the results of the PEA study. I went through them already, the 387 million NPV at Condor North. And that's only taking in about 50% of the project's resource. We're drilling Nayumbi gold target. We have these earn-ins with 2 tier 1 copper companies, BHP earning 60% at Tarqui, drilling now. Anglo earning 60% at Pegasus, hope to be drilling soon. And we currently hold an additional 25,000 hectares where we're working on the various projects to define drill targets. The most advanced is Cascas, as I walked through with you before. The team has a consistent history of exploring, developing, de-risking, and monetizing assets. And we're a highly aligned management team with 26% ownership across the group, including Ross Beatty. So I think with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Great. Thank you very much, Marshall, for the presentation. We'll now move on to the Q&A here. We do have one question. Can you please describe the terrain at the Tarqui project?
Yeah, so it's like most of Ecuador over in that region. It's fairly mountainous, but it's not high altitude. You know, it's below 2,000 meters for the most part. So, and it's forested areas, secondary growth forests, that sort of thing. But the one thing that's really good about Tarqui is the highway goes right to the site. So it's really easy access to get into the areas that they're looking at drilling initially.
Great. And I guess one question I'd ask, looking forward here, when would we, it's hard to know with assay results, industry-wide kind of delayed, but when might we expect some results on Nayumbi?
Yeah, I think Nayumbi we're probably still, I don't know, 6 weeks to 2 months sort of thing. It's been really slow with the laboratories. It's quite frustrating. So that's kind of where it sits.
And one other question submitted here, following up on Tarqui, what is the distance among the 3 drill holes at Tarqui? And what is kind of the expectation on the size of the prospective discovery there?
Scott, do you have a feel for that with from the map?
Yeah, for sure. So we put in today's press release, we put out an image that shows where the 3 drill holes are there on a scale, but you know, it's probably about 1.5 kilometers north-south between the 3 holes. And you know, they'll be drilling different areas as well, as in and around the discovery zone as part of the next 5,000 meters, which for further context was about 10 planned holes at 500 meters apiece.
Great. Do have a couple other questions, but one here, when will Anglo-Americans start drilling at Medusa?
So Scott, why don't you handle that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, they said, you know, they were going to try for end of Q2, but I think the realistic guidance from them was Q3 2022. So, you know, they're getting back in the field. They got back in the field late September. They're going to be, you know, re-engaging with the communities here and getting programs ramped up to be drilling, you know, end of Q2, Q3 next year.
Great. All right.
So, Tim, there's a whole bunch more questions in the chat. Are you getting to those? Or
yeah, we can do real quick here. We might have a quick second, but I guess looking at how big of a team do you have in country in Ecuador?
Oh, geez, we've got probably about 40, 45 full-time people at Luminex up in the camp. And then depending on the work that we're doing, we also have a lot of local hires. So we can get as many as 100 people into the camp, depending on the workload and what's going on.
Great.
I can hammer through some of these other ones too, Tim. I mean,
Yeah.
we contract the drill rig. We don't own our own drill equipment. Base metals weren't included in the Condor PEA because they're really only in the camp zone, which is only about 10% of the feed. So you could make a flotation, cell and have base metal concentrates if you wanted to, but we didn't because we just wanted to have a simpler circuit.
And Anglo starting, we talked about that already, right?
Yeah. And then, when would we look to drill Hapa? That's probably a 2022 item for us. So I don't think we'll get to that before the end of the year.
Great. All right. Well, we're about out of time here, but I'd like to thank you, Marshall and Scott, for presenting today, and thank you everyone out there for joining us today.